tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. There's my spider who seems to come out every now and again. He hangs out on my back wall there. One day the cats will find him, and then it'll be over. Speaking of kitties, hi. Kitty. Kitty, kitty. We're going to do a random reading today. You're getting too fat, Kitty. You are. Yes. You're a good kitty. Well, he's a good kitty until he starts biting me, which he's going to start doing very, very soon. See, watch. I'll just put my hand in front of his mouth. Watch. And he'll bite it. Oh, so he cleans it. You do make a little liar out of Dad. Yes, you are. Oh, good kitty. He's like, you don't like it when I bite you. It's when he gets too excited. He doesn't know how to handle. Yeah, if he was a human being, he'd be an alcoholic because he doesn't know how to handle excitement. Do you? Oh, yes. Hi, Sawyer. I just literally took a 30-minute nap with you. So there's the biting. There's the biting. I think he's cleaning my hands so that he'll allow me to touch him. All right, let's get to it. This one's not going to be too long. I was just kind of eating up some time. So not even sure that many people will be able to make it. I didn't announce it or nothing. I just kind of did it. So that's how kind of do things. It's, God's will and shit, Give me a random number between 1 and 164.
93.
93 is the page it will be on. Thankfully, Google also understands not to give me a number that ends up in 2 employers or 2 wives. The least read.
Could you please rephrase your request?
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what you mean by AA number that ends up in 2 employers or 2 wives. I want to make sure I understand correctly so I can provide you with a helpful response.
Hey, Neil. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right. Well, we were actually kind of covered this a little bit, this chapter yesterday, but we'll go ahead and we're going to start on 92. First full paragraph of 92. So it was kind of weird. I was doing some 12 by 12 work with a sponsee earlier, and their 12 by 12 is 1 page off than mine. At least it was by Tradition 9. So kind of weird because it shouldn't be. Who knows? Maybe they added another page. It's probably blank. But let's get started. We're gonna do a quick introduction here. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. Yada yada. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Let's get started. If you are satisfied that he is a real alcoholic, begin to dwell on the hopelessness feature of the malady. Show him from your own experience how the queer mental condition surrounding that first drink prevents normal functioning of the willpower. Now, I was just kind of talking to somebody about this, that being the director of Adams County, Colorado, Behavioral Health. All right. Actually, I think he's the assistant deputy, I think is what it is. Let's find out, because because that makes it sound like more like a brag, but really I just deputy executive director. So he's right below the executive director, right? And what we were talking about, he's like, do you have some suggestions? I'm like, yeah, how about we take detox and we have people that are working there who are alcoholics, or even better yet, Why don't you call the AA hotline? Then you don't need to hire peer support. There are plenty of people out there who'd be more than happy to show up to the detox, work with that person, help them get willing, help them see their malady, and now the staff can actually do something because they're not recovered alcoholics. They're people with bachelor's degrees. I call these people servants' hearts. Okay. Now, I'm not going to cut out the people with bachelor's degrees. No, we need those people, right? But we are the first line of defense. We are the ones, and it was something that I brought up to. I'm like, I appreciate everything that you guys do, but I'm out here on the front lines, and it is getting worse. It is not getting better. Right? I'm the one that deals with the despairing wives and the crying children and all the bullshit. You guys don't have to deal with that. By the time they get to you, we've cleared that up for you. You're welcome. That's what we do. Right? It's pretty cool, man, that we get to go from being the dredge of society to saving people's lives. And we don't even have a medical degree. We're not, and we're not paramedics or doctors or nurses. Well, some of us are, but don't at this stage refer to this book unless he has seen it and wishes to discuss it. Good chance nowadays they're probably already going to know about it. Okay. But they may not. They may not. And be careful not to brand him as an alcoholic. Let him draw his own conclusion. If he sticks to the idea he can still control his drinking, tell him that possibly he can if he is not too alcoholic. So you're not supposed to call him an alcoholic, but then do not say that if he can't be too alcoholic. All right. Be careful of that then. But insist that if he is seriously affected, there may be little chance he can recover by himself. This is where an alcoholic armed with facts about himself becomes, I don't want to say powerful, but in this case, there's power there. The power of God. Right? So here's the thing, self-diagnosis. Alcoholism and addiction are the only mental illnesses where you get to claim the diagnosis. That self-diagnosis is the only true diagnosis. It is. One of the only ones. You're not an alcoholic till you say you're an alcoholic. Before that, what you have is alcohol use disorder. You have AUD. But no therapist, no professional is going to say you're an alcoholic. They're going to let you determine that. They're taught that. Before that, you'll have different levels of alcohol use disorder. Right? But if we talk about, hey, and for me, I tell them straight up, I've met hundreds of alcoholics, and I've not met one person who beat this, who licked their alcohol addiction by themselves. I have not met one of them. Okay, whether they went through AA or a different route. No, it takes a tribe. All right. Subway, you're on the subway? Eat fish. Oh, eat fresh. Why did Subway come up? I must have said something. Continue to speak of alcoholism as an illness, a fatal malady. Talk about the conditions of body and mind which accompany it. Keep his attention focused mainly on your personal experience. Explain that many are doomed who never realize their predicament. Right? Doctors are rightly loath to tell an alcoholic patients the whole story unless it'll serve some good purpose. Yeah, because otherwise, no longer $5 footlong. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think they've had that for a while. Subway was one of my treats when I was in work release. Wednesdays was Subway day. I loved Fridays. That was Anthony's Pizza Day. Yeah. So, all right. So a doctor is not going to tell somebody else they're an alcoholic, and they're not going to give them the whole story either, because that's opening up a can of worms they don't know how to deal with. You and I can, though. because we're properly armed with facts about ourselves. So you can't get around us because we have the experience. You can't bullshit us because we know you're full of shit. Whenever I work with a newcomer, I already know they're full of it. How do I know? Because I was too, and they're a newcomer. So what do I do? Okay, because honesty is the first principle of the very first step. And the first step has got to be done 100%, right? So what do I give them? As honest as they can be at the time. Maybe they don't know how to be honest yet. Maybe they haven't been taught. I had to be taught because I didn't know how I didn't know how I was being dishonest. I couldn't see it till I got to that fourth step. Then it was clear as fucking day. Then I couldn't avoid it anymore. Right? But you may talk to him about the hopelessness of alcoholism because you offer a solution. If his own doctor is willing to tell him that he's an alcoholic, so much the better. Oh, about that. Here's the thing. You can't call them an alcoholic. That's name calling. And nobody likes to be called names. So tread carefully around this. Use the words drinking problem. Do you think you might have a drinking problem? You don't have to, because that could mean a variety of fucking things. Not every drinking problem turns into alcoholism. My first wife, she had a drinking problem, but she was not an alcoholic. She has alcohol in her fridge now. And I met her in AA. She did the steps. Now, she got DUI very young. She felt bad because her parents had to put up the house to bail her out of jail. And she never fucking did it again. Drinking problem solved by a consequence, not necessarily an alcoholic. Right? So there could be varying things, but stay away from alcoholic. It's just a bad word. And you can, at least that's the way I see it. I'm not allowed to call somebody an alcoholic until they say it themselves. All right. You'll soon have your friend admitting he has many, if not all, of the traits of an alcoholic. If his own doctor is willing to tell him he's alcoholic, so much the better. Even though your protege may not have entirely admitted his condition, he has become very curious as to how you got well. Let him ask you that question. If he will, tell him exactly what happened to you. Stress the spiritual feature freely. If the man be agnostic or atheist, make it empathetic that he does not have to agree with your conception of God. He can choose any conception he likes, provided it makes sense to him. The main thing is that he be willing to believe in a power greater than themselves and that he live by spiritual principles. You just have to be willing. Are you willing to check that out? If so, great. If not, maybe we'll find you another program. Who knows? Who knows, right? Something that comes through my mind while I was talking about this. Be ready to talk about the thing. Oh, I remember what it was. This is what I have found out when I've done 12 stepping. And it's not all the time, but a good chunk. I don't know that I could give you a fair percentage, 70, 75% maybe. Okay. This is what I have found. Even though we may kind of know it, alcoholics' deepest denial tends to be this: I'm not hurting anyone but myself. And everybody in the family will, their mom or dad or whoever, they will even sit there and tell them you're hurting. And we just don't believe it. But for some reason, when it comes from another alcoholic, it fucking sticks. So point out how they're fucking with everybody in their life. This is what I do, because you got to find the pain. These are clinical things that I kind of do, but they match. You got to find the pain. And the pain is whoever they're closest to. If it is a male, it is most likely their mother. Almost always going to be their mother. If they are female, it is most likely going to be their father. Now, this could be an aunt, an uncle, a grandfather, a grandmother, but it is almost always the opposite sex, almost always, because alcoholics, right? And you went through this too. When I came into the program, for me, it was I got better along with women. I always have. Most of my listeners are women. Most of the people that come to the grassroots meeting are women. There's actually more women in the grassroots meeting than there are men. I work in the field, mostly women. Women will say, I get along with men better. And this isn't untrue, it's true. Right? And we have to learn how to get along with the same sex. We have to learn that. That's something alcoholics tend to go through. But anyway, so you're going to find that pain, right? If it's a guy that I'm talking to, I will use the word and just ask direct questions. You close to your mom? Oh, yeah, I talk to her all the time. See, I'm already done. I don't need much more. You got brothers and sisters? Yeah, I got one sister. And gosh, she's such a doll, and I love her. And, you know, I know I'm kind of hurt. These are the people we're going to zero in on. You want to know the best gift I ever gave my mommy? And I will say mommy, because I want them to feel 3 again. It's what I want, because that's where the pain is. You want to know the best gift I gave my mommy? Sobriety. Now she isn't up all night wondering if she's going to get that stupid fucking phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning that I'm in jail or that I'm dead in a ditch, or worst of all, that I'm in jail because I killed somebody else's child because of my chicanery. It'll get them. It'll get them. But when an alcoholic figures out how much they are actually hurting the people around them, they tend to want to change. Alcoholics are actually very giving people. We're very good people. We just don't know how to handle fucking life. All right. What's up, Mr. Baker? My little stupid orange kitty. Huh? He's like, don't call me names. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're not stupid. You're just a cat. All right. When dealing with such a person, you had better use everyday language to describe spiritual principles. I don't have a choice because I don't know any other language. I've never read I read a portion of the Bible, but I couldn't get past the begats. They lost me. But I tried to read the Bible a couple times, but I never got through it. I never did. Right? There is no use arousing any prejudice he may have against certain theoretical terms and conceptions about which he may already be confused. Don't raise such issues no matter what your own convictions are. Yeah, I'm not there to preach. This is how I work it. I started out with, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. There is no right or wrong answer. I'm only asking this so I know how to help you. Is that okay with you? That's the question. Nobody's ever told me no. And I just say, how do you feel about God? Like I said, there's no wrong answer. And then I get the answer. You know what I do with it? Nothing. It just it was a topic that needed to be talked about and settled. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to tell them, I think that's a great place. I think that's a great place to start. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to support them on their thought process on it. Even if it's, I fucking hate God. You know, I've been there. I'm going to relate to them. I am going to meet them where they are at. Now, right? So, good stuff. Good stuff. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap up there. I said this one wasn't going to be very long. So, well, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. I think there was plenty of information in that 20 minutes. Giving away all my trade secrets for free. Man, I could make a master class out of this shit and then go charge everybody, right? No, thanks. All right, we'll see some of you in about 26 minutes. Grassroots, we meet at 5 o'clock Monday through Saturday, 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. If you ever want to join, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to send you the information. Come join our meeting. It's Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you're at. Yeah. But thank you everybody for being here. Neil, it was great to see you again, man. Amber, I hope you enjoy your dinner. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And oh, that's